We're now in the last days of May, and the plan was to have beans at the bottom and cucumbers and courgettes up at the top. Nothing seemed to be coming up, and I lost my patience and actually bought some cucumber plants. That's these ones. And got them planted and they're doing nicely. But then just in the last couple of days, all the cucumber seeds that I planted all started coming up, so I'm going to have to thin these out a bit. There's going to be too many. That's the case over there. It's the case here with the courgettes. They've all just started coming up. Another courgette. Those are going to be good. Don't need grass growing in there. These ones, they're coming up. But this one, for some reason, I've got a funny feeling that's actually a spinach plant. And I can't imagine why, but okay, I'll let it grow and see what happens. This one, another bought-in one. And then down there, there's some kind of giant squash or something. And a tomato plant. Now in here I planted beetroot, but I know I did 2 rows and I was waiting for something recognizable to come up in rows so I could get rid of everything else, but no, it's not happening yet. All these beans, nothing happening at all until today, when there's one actually got to the surface. Now, those get planted 5 centimeters deep, so that probably explains why it takes so long. But none of these other ones have come up yet. The tomatoes in pots, 2 of those are up. Like I said, last days of May. Quick look outside. And the horseradish is going crazy. I've got this covered up because of the chickens, but that's the mint has come up again. All these perennials, don't need to plant anything. Parsley, there's seeds in there, and then 2 plants that we bought from the shop. The chickens have actually attacked one of them. So let's have a look at the barrels. Sorrel, that's plants coming up again from last year, plus I put some new seeds in there. This one is meant to be chamomile, and this year nothing is happening with the chamomile. Samphire, same thing. Basil, there's basil seeds in there, and then we bought 2 basil plants. And this one is pipiche, and I don't know what it's meant to look like, so I don't know if any of those are pipiche. Let's have a look at the other barrels. Rhubarb's looking great. Mint, there's a couple of different kinds of mint in there. Haven't planted anything, it's all just coming up from last year. There's dill seeds in here, but I don't see anything that looks like dill yet. Maybe a tiny one in here. Citronella came up all by itself as well, and looking fantastic. And then there's of course the chives, which are going great. Again, another chamomile barrel and nothing happening. Don't know what I've done wrong with those this year. It's about June the 10th. We got courgette coming, first flower, but there was no other flowers at the time, so it won't have got pollinated. Little hanging basket tomato. Here I've got holiday radishes coming, I'll get back to that. Vegetable spaghetti plants, 2 of them have come up, or 3, there's one at the back there. These little ones are shop bought cucumbers, I think, and then this thing is, I think it's greenhouse cucumber. Another one. Courgettes coming. More courgettes coming. That was some kind of another brand of cucumber, not quite sure, can't remember what it was, but it's called an Isnik. And then this is the another courgette. Down there, there's some kind of Cuda pizza, which is I can't remember. The thing that you use at Halloween. One tomato plant, it's growing, just put a string on it yesterday. These beetroot have just started coming up. None of those beans are showing. Here we've got 3. One little one there, one decent sized one there, one over there. That raspberry plant is doing something. But these radishes, this is the second load, the first load is now out. Here and doing quite well. That's the horseradish, it's really strong. And there's some mint under here. I think it's probably time to take this netting off. That soon. Parsley died back a bit, but I think it's coming now. So I think we can call some of these a success anyway. That's the mint, self-seeded mint, 2 or 3 types. That's just exploding. Rhubarb in that barrel back there is doing great. They're quite small shoots though. But there's, I think I might need to dig 1 or 2 of them up and put them somewhere else. This is dill coming from seed. This one, self-seeded citronella. Look at that. And behind it, of course, the chives, which are doing great. 25th or 26th of June. These mustard greens that have come up through the paving stones. I'm going to take advantage of those, doing a salad. Okay, it's the end of June. We've got chamomile finally. I just want to make a note for next year that that's the kind of foliage you're looking for. I think I've actually pulled some out of here because I didn't remember that that's what they look like when they're little. So, note to self, that's chamomile. 9th of July and I'm in the greenhouse again. This one has just made that one huge courgette, but then all the other flowers and courgettes seem to have stopped doing anything. These cucumbers are getting up into the roof, but not doing anything yet. A couple of little flowers just started to come. one possible cucumber coming here. We've already taken that one big cucumber off of this plant. There's another one coming down there. This one we've got two quite decent sized cucumbers already, and it's flowering all over the place, and it's right up into the roof. This is a different kind of cucumbers, and or courgette I think, and all the female plants are flowering, but there's no male plants flowering yet, so those are not going to work. The tomatoes hidden down here, and there's lots of tomatoes on it, but all green and will be for a long time yet. That pumpkin that planted down in the corner, that has grown up and up and up and up, and now it's coming over the top. Beans down there, you'll see that middle one has kind of had a growth spurt in the last 2 or 3 days. And over here, this is trying really hard. There's probably been 20 courgettes coming, and then they shrivel and die, even though I'm pollinating them by hand just to make sure they get pollinated. But this one looks promising, and there's one back there that looks promising. And there's another one I just pollinated yesterday. We'll see. So that's the state of play in the greenhouse, 9th of July. Tuesday, 14th July, in the greenhouse. This one seems to have taken a break after we took and ate that big courgette. Was it a small marrow? Got some radishes coming there. Need to take that cucumber plant out and put it in the field. These are past halfway across the roof, and we've already harvested one cucumber from this plant, I think it was. There's another one getting up to shop size. I think I saw somewhere there's a little one just started. Yep, up there. So we're doing quite good on the cucumbers. This one is the perfection variety. There's a nice size cucumber there, another one there, and there's a little one in the back there coming, so going well there. This one is courgettes, and finally got a male flower, so I was able to fertilize, or hopefully pollinate those courgettes. So 3 or 4 already coming. Same over here. 3 or 4 coming there. That pumpkin plant that's planted right down there in the corner has just gone crazy. It's right up above the window, and the first female flower got pollinated just yesterday. And this thing's still continuing to just spread everywhere. Beans, slow but steady. And that's the greenhouse. That's the horseradish out there. It's going great guns. I'd guess it's about the 5th of August. This one's not doing great. I mean, if every single courgette that it made actually grew, we'd have tons of courgettes, but it's actually the first one that's really grown. It's going to be a decent size though. So I'll give you an overview. We've been harvesting lots of cucumbers. Cucumbers has been a success, but what's obvious, this plant has given us almost all the cucumbers, and it's just a single plant in this box. As usual, I've been too ambitious. This one's got 3 or 4 plants in. It has produced a couple, but the most productive is the one with its own box. Plenty of root space. And it's grown way over here. Over there. It's coming over here as well. So, yeah, less plants per box obviously works. This is the same kind of plant as the first one, and I don't think we've got a single success. Oh yeah, there's one coming again. Even though we're pollinating these, they just seem to not grow. Same thing over here. Looks like this one's gonna go do something. This one has been pollinated. The flower's not quite ready to come off, but loads of potential, but they just don't cut it. But the big news, growing from down there, pumpkin, but kind of here there is a generic term for all things kind of like a pumpkin or a gourd or whatever. It's growing over here. And so this is just one of them. So we don't know what kind of that is, but that's what we got. Not quite football size, but almost football size. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. How long it can actually stay up there. It's already probably weighing quite a lot. And it'd been lovely if we knew what it was, but we don't. And the plant has continued. Continued and continued, and here we've got a possible candidate for another one, but we're almost back to the door now, so that's going to be interesting. Outside you can see the horseradish is doing brilliantly. I love that stuff. Looks kind of prehistoric. We're gonna, in the autumn when that dies down, take some roots from that and put them in the back garden. The bean plants are actually growing, but I mean it's taking a while. I don't think they're really going to get out of those. I think beans is not a good idea here. But there we go. Okay, we're still at about the 5th of August. I forgot to mention we're getting tomatoes. Not a lot. Had a couple today. Some more up there. Gonna come. Oh, quite nice. That's the new van. Today we took the honey to the honey room. And now the bees are cleaning out the little bits of honey that were left there. Okay, one day since the last update, but that's looking great. That's a good one. These things are all up in the rafters. This plant has continued to give us cucumbers. There's another little one growing in there somewhere. And another one up here next to that huge pumpkin. Nice to get one or two more of those. Down here we've got another nice courgette coming. And now this thing has started. And up there we're getting lots of little cucumbers. And I just spotted there's some other nice ones in the corner. This one, maybe that's a variety of smaller ones and we've just been waiting too long before picking them. Could be. Tobacco plants are growing there, even though we're not really smoking anymore, so I don't know what we're going to do with the tobacco. The beans are kind of not doing anything and probably won't. But cucumbers and pumpkins galore. Aha! What's this? There's something growing there. Don't know what that one is. It's impossible to anymore track which plants come from which pots. Sunday, 16th of August. Progress report on the pumpkin. Gonna have to give it some support so it doesn't fall down. August. Spaghetti squash. Come in. Ninth of September, I'm just harvesting some mint from here outside the greenhouse, but the horseradish is just amazing. That's a leaf I just cut off. It's well over a metre long. "21st of September. Things are starting to look a bit sad in here. This one's pretty much dead. It's got some mould on the stem, but there's one decent sized courgette coming. But what I think I've learnt this year is these ones, the pollination hasn't really worked. Even if I hand pollinate, you're actually going to get more from the plant from picking them. Maybe not quite this small, but when they're just a little bit bigger than that. Because they produce, this plant's probably done 30, 35 little, tiny little courgettes, but then the pollination doesn't seem to work and they just rot. You're better off to just pick them, even though they're small. Probably get more out of the plant that way, so that's maybe something I'll think about doing next year. We've got lots and lots of these little cucumbers coming, which are quite nice. They're still happening. Loads of those. There's one caught up in there somewhere. Now that one's starting to go bad. Oh, there you go. Yep, that's the kind of size. I'll just chop that end off. And there's some usable stuff there. So we actually got the beans this year. We've got 2 beans coming. That's it. Other stuff is all dying back. But this thing is just huge. It's still going. It's almost ready. You can maybe see the tendril thing at the back is half dried up, and it's when it's dried up completely that's actually get my hand over there. This one there. When that's all dried up, that's a sign that they should be ready, so not quite there. But it's going to be good. And another one of them started growing, so I already got this support up for it, but it's not going to get very far. We're too late in the season. And then this end, the one spaghetti squash. So that'll be nice. And it's in that flower basket for support, because it's going to rip itself off the vine. It's another cucumber. So, that's the state of play at September 21st.